Another enemy Indian was behind a little sagebrush knoll and shooting at us. His shots were returned. I and some others went around and got behind him. See this? I'll tell you what, Wooden Leg is all about flanking people. You notice that? He's just flanking people all over the place. I and some others went around and got behind him. We dismounted and crept toward him. As we came close up to him, he fell. A bullet had hit him. He raised himself up, though, and swung his rifle around toward us. We rushed upon him. I crashed a blow of my rifle barrel upon his head. Others beat and stabbed him to death. I also got his gun. It was the same as the one I had taken from the other soldier, but the Indian's gun had a longer barrel. One of the Sioux scalped the dead man. Different ones took his clothing. I took nothing except the gun. Continuing on, somebody said to me, "Look yonder, other soldiers." I saw them on a distant hill down the river and on our same side of it. The news of them spread quickly among us. Indians began to ride in that direction. And so they're now going to, again, this is where I didn't want to try and figure out exactly what battle, but yeah. So there's another portion of the battle taking place. I know in my head where he's going, but we'll just say he sees other soldiers to go after. I'm pretty sure this is him going after Custer. And as he's going towards this other battle that's taking place, he passes through the camp again. And he sees his dad. And he says, "My father was the only person at our lodge. I told him of the fight up in the valley. I told him of having helped in the killing of the enemy Indian and some soldiers in the river. I gave to him the tobacco I had taken. I showed him my gun and all the cartridges. 'You have been brave,' he cheered me. 'You have done enough for the day. Now you should rest.' 'No, I want to go and fight the other soldiers. I can fight better now with this gun.' 'Your horse is tired,' he argued. 'Yes, but I want to ride the other one.'" So Wooden Leg, he had a good morning so far. Got after it. But he sees the fighting going on, and because he's a warrior, he says, "Nope, I'm getting back in the game." Back to the book. As we approached the place of battle, each one chose his own personal course. All of the Indians had come out on horseback. Almost all of them dismounted and crept along the gullies afoot after the arrival near the soldiers. I think that's the reason I highlighted that is because you got people doing decentralized command. Oh, you see where the battle is? Get there. Right? We don't have to line up. We don't have to march together. You see where the battle is? Get there on your own personal course. Make it happen. Most of the Indians were working around the ridge now occupied by the soldiers. We were laying down in gullies and behind sagebrush hillocks. The shooting at first was at a distance, but we kept creeping in closer all around the ridge. Bows and arrows were used more than guns. From the hiding places of the Indians, the arrows could be shot high and long curve to fall upon the soldiers or their horses. An Indian using a gun had to jump up and expose himself long to shoot. The arrows falling upon the horses stuck in their backs and caused them to go plunging here and there, knocking down the soldiers. So this is classic. You think that the rifle is the better weapon, but the rifle, you have to expose yourself to shoot. Well, the Indians are just hunkered down behind a knoll or behind some brush or behind a valley, and they're just lobbing like a mortar rounds, thousands of mortar rounds just hitting into where the soldiers are, and the soldiers can't even do anything to them. The long distance fighting was kept up for about an hour and a half, I believe. The Indians all the time could see where the soldiers were because the white men were mostly on a ridge and their horses were with them, but the soldiers could not see our warriors as they had left their ponies and were crawling through the gullies in the sagebrush. A warrior would jump up, shoot, jerk himself down quickly, and then crawl a little further forward. All around the soldier ridge, our men were doing this, so not many of them got hit by soldier bullets during this time of fighting. This is beautiful. This is exactly what we teach, what the military teaches. Individual movement. You shoot, you get up, you get back down, you crawl, you get up again. So the enemy might see you right when you take a shot, then you duck, And then when you pop up again, you're not in the same place. So if you were aiming where they were, they're not there anymore. This is beautiful tactics. In a few minutes, the warriors were all around these soldiers. Then lame white man, that's an Indian, lame white man called out, "Come, we can kill all of them." All around, the Indians began jumping up, running forward, dodging down, jumping up again, down again, all the time towards the soldiers. Right away, all the white men went crazy. Instead of fighting us, they turned their guns upon themselves. Almost before we could get to them, every one of them was dead. They killed themselves. The Indians took the guns of these soldiers and used them for shooting at the soldiers on the high ridge. I went back and got my horse and rode around beyond the east end of the ridge. By the time I got there, all the soldiers were dead. The Indians told me they had killed only a few of those men and that the men had shot each other and shot themselves. And this is very controversial, you know, whether these guys killed themselves. And I don't even know if it's that controversial. It's like straight up most people don't believe that. I don't know. I don't know what the answer is. But we know that one thing we do know, they're all dead. Mm-hmm. Back to the book. I saw one Sioux walking, and I'm sure, you know what, I'm sure that somebody that's listening to this is going to give us the full report.
The full deal, yeah.
Yeah. And actually I have books, and this is not the same account, right? This is different, them killing themselves. So I know that, but well, I'm talking about this book right now, so I'm going with it. I saw one Sioux walking slowly toward the gulch, going away from where were the soldiers. He wobbled dizzily as he moved along. He fell down, got up, fell down, got up again. As he passed near to where I was, I saw that his whole lower jaw was shot away. The sight of him made me sick. I had to vomit. I did not know him, and I did not learn whether he died or not. The shots quit coming from the soldiers. Warriors who had crept close to them began to call out that all the white men were dead.